Hello, welcome to my epic cooking class on how to make a pasta bar. I'm so excited to be with you, and I hope you'll share some ideas and that this will be helpful to you as well. I'm just going to wait a couple seconds to see if someone can confirm that you can hear me well and see me well. There's always something new on Facebook Live. It took me some time to get to you because of that, and I want to check that everything is working well before I start. I'm going to demonstrate how to do a pasta bar, and you'll see how easy and simple it is. And I just want to check that you can hear me. So I'm going to see if I have some comments on here. And also I'll be able to follow along and answer questions when I start. So how are you doing on a Thursday evening, end of the month? Everything looks fine? Great. So if you're watching, let me know if you can hear me well and if you can see me well. This is, I think, the first time I do a live cooking class outside of an event on this group. So if you're watching, let me know if everything's working on the side of the view and the sound. And tonight we're going to do a pasta bar. So what is a pasta bar? What are the parts of it? And how to prepare it? I got a little heart. So I'm going to read my notes to make sure I don't forget anything. That this is going to be quick and short. And I really want you to share your favorites too. So what is a pasta bar? Of course, you're already familiar with what a salad bar is. And pasta is an all-time favorite in most households, right? So why not combine the two to make something fun called a pasta bar? And before we start, I just want to introduce myself. I'd love for you to introduce yourself in the comments as well. And so, yeah, I'll introduce myself right now, briefly, quickly, even if most of you know me. Charlotte Habegger. I'm an independent consultant and director with Epicure. I share tasty, easy, simple, inexpensive recipes that you can make with what you have in your home already. So nothing, extraordinarily complicated. And mostly it's also inexpensive, like I said, and healthy. So that's what I do. And as a connector, I connect you to the easiest way for you to eat and cook so that you can get back to your epic life projects, achieve them, and stay healthy, to enjoy them, right? Great. Let me just see if someone's on. Yay, Cleo, you can hear me well. Thank you. It's always great if somebody can confirm, the sound's not off or something. So, like I said, a pasta bar is like a salad bar, but with pasta. Have you done that before? Have you had it at a restaurant? Have you wanted to make it? Those are the first questions I have for you. What's so great about a pasta bar? Right before we start, I'll show you a few tips over here in my kitchen. So one thing is that it's colorful. It's tasty, yummy. You get to eat all different kinds of flavors in one meal. You can dress it up the way you want, so that means that everybody in the household, or if you're having people over, they can make it the way they want it. So it's good for everyone. You can glam up your favorite dish, which is a pasta. You can even just take one idea from today, apply it every week to your pasta, and at least you'll have a couple new meals. Nutrition. You can hide tons of vegetables and superfoods in pasta sauce, right? It's also a great way to entertain and to have fun. So you could also use it to keep little ones busy and content. It's a very simple, easy, and visually appealing concept. So what do you need? I'm going to go through the different things that you need for a pasta bar. And in each one of them, I'm going to show you the one I'm going to make today. So I'm going to make one of the options today. And the idea is that you prepare all the options that you want. You serve them on a counter or on a table in different serving dishes. And people come and serve themselves. So one of the challenges is keeping everything warm. I'm going to tell you all about that in a minute. Just going to check before I start if I have comments, questions. So who has had a pasta bar? Who has wanted to have some? Who's made it before? Who's had it in a restaurant? Those are a couple of my questions. So of course, the first thing you need for a pasta bar is, okay, pasta. They all have such fun names, don't they? What's your favorite pasta? What's your favorite kind? I suggest having 3 to 4 kinds of pasta for your pasta bar. So among the 3 to 4, let's say 4, okay? I'm going to say 4 kinds of pasta for your pasta bar. 2 of them can be classic, like spaghetti, macaroni, you know, wheat, flour pasta that you buy and cook. It takes 8 to 10 minutes to cook it. 2 classic pasta. So the one that we like in my family is, I call them butterflies or ribbons. I have no idea what the actual real name is. It's these. What do you call these? The bows, I guess. Bow pasta. I love these because in the food, you know, I just like texture. So I guess there's no good reason to like one pasta better than another. What's your favorite classic pasta? So you need 2 of those. And what I suggest as far as the pasta is to cook it al dente. So you cook it the minimum amount that's on the package of time, and then you can do that ahead of time. So you do it ahead of time. I pre-prepared some of the part tonight. I'm not going to cook everything with you, but I pre-cooked a portion of the bow pasta, which is our favorite. So you need 2 classic, and then you could either use a strainer like this, and right before serving, you could pour hot water over it, or into a bowl, whatever. Or you could keep the cooked pasta in serving dishes in the oven on low. So you could cook the 2 kinds of pasta ahead of time, put them in the oven on 200, like something really low, and leave it there until you're ready to serve. This is to solve the issue of having it warm when you serve it. My family doesn't usually care, but if you have people over, in some cases it's better for things to be warm when you eat. And another way you could do it is you cook it ahead of time, put it in the strainer. When it's about time to eat, you pour hot water over it. And you can keep the serving dishes covered with a hot, wet towel. So that's for the pasta, the 2 classic pastas. Then I'm suggesting you make 2 other kinds of pasta. So the 2 classic and 2 others. The other 2 is going to be 1 gluten-free. The gluten-free, I would suggest purchasing it. Of course, you can also make homemade pasta. Who here has made homemade pasta? Gluten-free pasta, I would suggest buying in the store. Did you know that you can buy pasta gluten-free made from beans? Yep, that exists. So you can even get nutrition in your pasta. We were even joking today on another cooking class that you could have all your food groups as pasta, because the second kind of other pasta I'm going to suggest, noodles, actually it's going to be noodles, is veggie noodles. So 2 classic pasta, you know, regular wheat, 1 gluten-free version that you can buy and cook and follow the instructions. And the other kind, the 4th kind of pasta would be a veggie pasta. Veggie noodles. Have you made or had veggie noodles before? I usually use our Epicure spiralizer, or it's a veggie spiralizer. That's what I use it for. You could also use, if you have a slicer, even with a regular knife, you could make veggie noodles. So what kind of veggie noodles have you had before? I'm going to right now, before your eyes, prepare cucumber noodles, tell you how to cook it, and I want to know what other vegetables you can use to make vegetable noodles. So I just use this like a sharpener for pencils. It's very simple. We have 2 shapes. One is the ribbon. So you're just going to make a long ribbon. That's one thing you can do with veggie noodles. A very wide ribbon. I'll stop that because it could last forever with just 1/2 of a cucumber. And the other kind are spaghetti noodles, spaghetti type noodles that you also make with the vegetable. So if I make it with the cucumber, you see it comes out like that. You might want to remove the skin when you're making this. It just depends on what you prefer. So that would be cucumber spaghetti. And I prepared a list of vegetables you can make spaghetti with. So vegetable noodles you can make with squash, carrot, I want to know what you've used before, zucchini, sweet potatoes, cucumber, radishes, broccoli, but you'd use the stems, beet, yes, and even eggplant. You can even make noodles with eggplant. So just sum it up. 4 kinds of pasta for your pasta bar, 2 classic wheat pasta, 1 gluten-free, and 1 veggie noodles. The veggie noodles you only cook for about a minute or 2 in hot water. And then you put that aside and you pour it over the strainer as well. Put them in the strainer, pour hot water over the strainer right before you eat them. So that's your pasta. And the kind I have is the ribbon, the bow type of pasta. I'm just going to check for comments before we go to the next part, which is the vegetables. Awesome. Thank you for watching. So the second item you need for your pasta bar is vegetables. What I usually do for the vegetables, I usually put them in the sauce. So you don't have to have extra vegetables. But some people like to have, so when you'll be serving the pasta, you'll have a counter or a table with all the different kinds of pasta and vegetables and everything. And so some people will put vegetables that you can serve, that actually your guests or your family can serve themselves different kinds of vegetables. So what I suggest is to choose your favorite vegetables, 2 or 3 kinds. Different colors makes it more fun. You could do carrots, broccoli, whatever you'd like. I'm going to use leek. I have some. You could do any kind of vegetable. I would suggest dicing it or cutting it in small pieces and frying it in the pan with a little bit of olive oil or your favorite oil, salt and pepper, or in the oven, and making sure they're cooked before you serve them so that they're ready for the pasta bar. So I'm just going to cut this into small pieces. I usually just dice it. So whatever vegetables you choose, maybe 2 or 3 kinds of vegetables, dice them, put them in the frying pan to saute them, or in the oven with a little bit of salt and pepper and oil for 15 minutes maybe, depending on the vegetable. And then you just put them in serving bowls so that they're ready for the pasta bar. So now we have the pasta, 4 kinds, vegetables, 2 to 3 kinds. I prepared just the leek. So I'm going to put that in a bowl. Just get a bowl here. I love these little prep bowls from Epicure because I can put all the different types of vegetables, all the different parts of the pasta bar, and then serve them so people can serve themselves for the recipe. Now, what's the third part of a pasta bar? What else do we need? So I can either share about the protein sources you can use, or I can share about the different kinds of sauce. What do you want me to start with? Whoever's watching, let me know. I have to talk to you about the different kinds of protein sources you can use for your pasta bar, or the next step is the different sauces that I can share with you. So if I'm not sure I can see the comments sometimes when I'm updating, or I'll just pick one or the other. What do you choose? So I'm going to start with the protein sources. I always do vegetarian recipes, usually even vegan. However, you can choose the protein source of your choice for your pasta bar. One of them would be meatballs. And we actually have a meal solution to make meatballs, yummy garlic meatballs, in under 15 minutes. And I have a vegan option for you to make this, so I can actually share that with you. We have actually a meatloaf vegetarian recipe as well. So if you want to know more about that, this would be a good protein source for your pasta bar. And another one that you could choose, of course, are all the classic ones that you would have with spaghetti. I'm just going to check if I'm not forgetting something. Great, yeah, you could use cheese too for the protein source for your pasta bar. And I mean cheese like feta cubes, ricotta. If you do those, there are also vegan options available. And the one I'm going to choose is crunchy tofu. So you may or may not enjoy tofu, but I can tell you that you would like this one if you could taste it. I'm going to share it with you. I use our crispy and crunchy coating from Epicure. What's cool with Epicure is they're gluten-free. Everything is gluten-free. I don't know if you tried to find gluten-free coating for vegetables or for chicken or for any protein source, but they usually have kind of icky ingredients in them. And this one does not. It's really healthy and gluten-free ingredients. And you can make, of course, chicken, fish, and I'm making tofu. So how do I make crunchy tofu? I use this meal solution. I buy firm tofu, remove it from the package, get rid of the liquid. I kind of tap it onto a towel to dry it off, and I cut it in cubes or dice it, dice the tofu, and then I put it in yogurt. So this is what's left. I have some pieces left of the tofu in yogurt. You could use mayonnaise as well. And then this is what the crispy coating looks like from the bag. And then I take the tofu that's in the mayonnaise or the yogurt, and I dip it into the coating. And then you bake that in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes on a cooling rack, and it comes out so yummy and so crunchy. It's perfect to put on your pasta. That's one of the protein sources, and it's the one I'm going to use. So this is what I'll show you the result, because I prepared it ahead of time to, save some time. So this is my crunchy tofu. It's so yummy. It's so firm too. That is perfect for a pasta bar. Let me know, what is your favorite protein source for pasta? What do you like? Ground beef, all kinds of things are good on pasta. I mean, even shrimp and seafood is good on pasta. I only have vegetarian options in my cooking class. This is what it looks like when I prepare the tofu. So I use a baking sheet. Underneath there's I'll have to show you this. I have the cooling rack, and the cooling rack is placed. This is a silicone baking sheet, so you only have to wash it. It's very easy, simple. You don't have to throw anything away afterwards. It's environmental friendly. And the cooling rack, and this is how I cook the tofu that I just showed you. So the whole thing takes 20 minutes if I cook it for 15 minutes. It's really simple, yummy, and easy. Don't you want to taste it? That's for the protein source for my pasta bar. So far we've talked about the pasta, 4 kinds of pasta. We've talked about the vegetables, 2 to 3 kinds of vegetables, and you serve them all separately, remember, and people get to serve themselves. Now I've talked about a couple different kinds of protein sources. Now, what is the next step? I'll just see if I have any comments or any questions. Yummy! Yes, ground beef. Yes, for tofu. Yes, I can send you the link if you'd like. So, the next step for a pasta bar, of course, is the sauce. What kind of sauce do you put on your pasta? And I would suggest maybe 3 or 4 kinds of, maybe 3 different kinds of sauces for your pasta bar. It's up to you. So, what would I suggest for your sauces for your pasta bar? 1 or 2 classic. So classic means marinara, pesto, arrabbiata. Those are like Italian names. It was funny, I had a cooking class yesterday and I was trying to say these Italian words, and there were Italian people there so they could correct me. So one or 2 classic sauces, marinara, pesto, we have those with Epicure, the mixes. All you have to do is add a couple ingredients. You could also make a white sauce, like an Alfredo sauce, or a mac and cheese sauce. We have those as well with Epicure. You could choose world cuisine, like Italian. That's what I'm going to show you in a minute. And you can also make a pink sauce with like marinara and Alfredo. So choose a couple kinds of sauces that you want. I am going to show you a recipe that's Italian with the pasta I showed you earlier, the vegetable I showed you earlier, the tofu I showed you. I am going to make an Italian dish called pasta alla Norma. So it's not pronounced correctly, but it's a typical recipe with eggplant. That's what I'm going to make in a minute. It will take just a couple minutes, and then we'll be done. So, and then we'll have one more step. So I'm going to let you try to guess what's missing in our pasta bar now that we've done the pasta, the vegetables, the protein source, the sauces. What could be missing? I'll get started on my pasta alla Norma Italian dish. So simple and easy. and let you answer about what's missing for our pasta bar. So this is very simple. It takes 1 can of tomato paste. We're going to actually substitute for something called tomato passata. I'm going to substitute for that with a simple can of tomato paste and 1 cup of water, and I'm going to put that in my wok here. I use the wok all the time instead of a frying pan, so. So 1 can of tomato paste and 1 cup of water to substitute for something called tomato passata. So if you know what tomato passata is and you know where to find that, you could just use that, like apparently a traditional Italian something or whatever. One cup of water. These prep bowls are so practical. So 1 can of tomato paste, 1 cup of water, a little bit of olive oil. I don't measure it, but I have a recipe I'll share later. Maybe, a teaspoon or 2, depending on what you prefer. The vegetables I cut up earlier, that's optional. And then the eggplant. So the eggplant I pre-cooked 20 minutes in the oven. Very simple. I just diced it, cut it up in cubes, salt, pepper, oil, baking sheet in the oven for 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. And they're already a little bit like they're pre-cooked. This would not be ready enough to have with the pasta. I'm going to put that in here. So I'm making pasta alla norma, an Italian dish, an Italian pasta dish with tomato paste, water, vegetable, one choice of vegetable, and the eggplant. And we're going to be done in a couple minutes. I hope you're thinking or guessing about what's missing in my pasta bar. So this is what it looks like before it's cooked. Pasta alla norma, Italian. I'll let that simmer. That will take 2 more minutes. And during those 2 minutes, I can tell you the last part of the pasta bar. So what is it? Let me see if someone's guessed. What's missing in my pasta bar? Great, so what's missing in my pasta bar is the topping. What's on top of the pasta? That's my favorite part, the most fun part. What's missing is the toppings, the toppers, the rest of what you put on the pasta bar. So some people prefer it maybe just simple, plain, without that part. I love having that part because of all the different tastes and flavors and colors. So the kinds of things you can have for your toppers are olives. You could have also different kinds of cheese, like Parmesan cheese. There's also vegan options for that. Parmesan cheese, other kinds of cheese, salt and pepper. If you can get healthy, it's better. We also have something called red garlic with Epicure. I like it because it looks like a seasoned salt. It's made from garlic. It's kind of sweet, but you can actually replace your salt with it. So I love this because it's garlic, but it tastes kind of like a seasoned salt, and it has the same color and the same texture, so you can lower your amount of sodium with this. You could add your favorite mix from Epicure, like lemon jelly, on your pasta. Another one I think is very, very yummy is our creamy hummus mix. That would be very good on pasta. So for your toppings on pasta, you could add this, which is the hummus mix. Garlic. And if you like spicy, you could also add our poco picante that has chili in it and jalapenos to add some spice to your pasta bar. It's because I'm thinking of the next step. So the next step, the last step, when everything is ready, you just watch this. It's almost ready, actually. That was so quick. So we did the pasta, protein source, vegetables, sauces, toppings, all of that. And the last thing that you might want to serve with your pasta bar is garlic bread. Garlic bread. So what I suggest is heating up some bread, of course, to make some garlic bread. Some French baguette is really yummy. And take some butter. Well, we use a kind of margarine made of avocado oil. And add your favorite dip mix in there. So you could add the red garlic. You could add the hummus mix. You could also add herb and garlic. Herb and garlic is one of the top dip mixes. It just has herbs and garlic. And you could put that in your butter, melt it, or if it's margarine from an oil like I use, it's already melted. And then you can spread that into your bread for some yummy, yummy garlic bread. So, our pasta alla norma Italian dish is ready. Let's see if it smells good. I'm sure you're going to be hungry now. I'll have to taste test it, right? Here we go. This is the pasta alla norma. So I only made one option tonight, but the idea of the pasta bar is to make all the options I shared. I'll be coming to add the description on top of the video. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, if you want to know more about the products, let me know. You can order from me, or if you already have a consultant, you can check in with that person. I hope you're doing well, and if you like this, let me know. I'll do more here if I have interest for it, especially if you have a specific topic or something you're interested in. So I hope you're doing well. Happy month end, happy evening, and take care. Thank you.